Hello, people of the day and night. I welcome you all to. You got to the second part, or the water section of the How to series, where I explain the do and don'ts on the entire water theme. The water do and water don'ts. So, where do I even start to begin with? So, in terms of water battle, there are two different types of the battle that you have to consider. First time being the onshore support, being outposts, being town centers, being any form of buildings that can shoot. As it has two different sets of attack. One being the basic range attack, and the other one, the range attack, is being that it does against land units, and the anti-ship attack being the attack that it does against ships. You'll see that the range on the anti-ship attack is massively larger than the one on the land range attack, which is, by the way, not meant by the circle here. The circle here is the amount of range from the land units. So you can essentially twice the range here, since it's nearly double the range. So roundabout here is where the range attack ends, which is on North Korea pretty much the entire waterline. It's gonna be pretty nicely seen on the town center range attack, since the radius here is 32, as you see, and 40 would extend the range to the edge of the map. And the other one being offshore support. Offshore being everything that has to do with land. Oh, I also forgot the coals. Wait. Let's try a few coals. And you'll see that the Koreans have a juicy multiplier against ships of 4 damage. Means of multiplier of 10. My bad. Of 10. So they do 400 damage per shot. But this can be extended further by heated shot. It reads combat attack damage bonus against ships 50% and anti-ship attack damage bonus against ships 50%. What this thing does is it gives your outposts and your town centers and force alike, anything that's onshore support building like that shoots, and pretty much 50% damage multiplier against ships. But that's not all. As you see, previously we had a 10 times multiplier against warships, and now we have a 15 multiplier warships. So instead of 400 damage, we're gonna do 600 damage now. So instead of 5 shots, we just need 4 shots to kill the ship right there. However, once the ship gets more upgraded with more cards and more technologies, you see the ships get quite beefy, and the breakpoint's still gonna be more or less the same. Which is why you don't sleep on heated shot. It's such a good technology that you have to have on when you fight an opponent in water. It gives you such a big advantage. And it also applies to it applies to mortars as well. But it does a tiny bit of bonus damage against ships now. Alright, so, and there's another card that boosts anti-ship damage, is Coastal Defenses. It's a team card. What it does, it adds a 0.8 multiplier for all buildings that shoot. Including docks, by the way. Docks is sort of like a town center. The more ships you have inside, the more damage it gets built up to the maximum of 10. Just like the town center. So It sounds very risky to kill a dog with had quite a fishing ships in it, depending on how many ships you are attacking it. Okay, and now to the offshore support, where we come to the different kind of ships. So there's not that many different kind of ships, unlike other Age of Empires 3, Age of Empires titles, where there's like an entire counter system. There's pretty much only 3 types. One being canoes, second one being warships like this. 4, with a few niches. Being warships that do damage against ships, and the monitors, which do heavy damage against buildings from afar. And then there is the galleons, which sort of act like sea barracks, and also as sort of the damage-soaking ship. What I mean by that is that if you have a look at the buildings do less damage against siege troopers, and guess what the ship is? A siege trooper. Means that if you want to siege on buildings with your ships, make sure that you have at least 1 or 2 galleons in the mix. If you are fighting on like very heavy coastal defense and you don't have any troops whatsoever for whatever reason, so instead of, well, this one for example, instead of 230 damage, it's just gonna do 115 damage, which gonna take a lot of time for the building to kill the ship. As of 10 shots, you essentially need 20 shots to kill the ship. Quite the difference, is it not? And another part being that there is different natives on the map, which gonna give you different bonuses. What I mean by that, if you have a look at the dock, I have access to these 4 ships I mentioned. The Caravel, the Frigate, the Monitor, and the Galleon. However, if you manage to capture said native post, look at that. Ooh. I do get access to a new ship. And there is 4 different kind of bonus you can get. So in terms of the African natives, you have to see on the minimap, on those icons on the map here. If it is a building like that, it's gonna be an African native, which will give you 1 of 3 different ships. First one being the Woku junk, second one being the privateer, as you see here, which is also again still the African native, as you see on the minimap, those little house symbols. And the third one being the European nations, European natives. As you see, the icon on the minimap, a little crown, I would say, of sort of the king. What is that giving you is the battleship. A very expensive ship, a very slow ship. It's a lot of HP though. Kind of get it like to insane values. Which is one of the few ships which doesn't have a broadside attack. It is very slow but very deadly ship. And last but not least, the OG natives. Not sure to call them. The Native Americans. Let's call the Native Americans. Which are displayed by an arrowhead. Obsidian arrowhead. When you capture these, you're gonna get yourselves some canoes. Where we come to the next topic, the canoes. Canoes can get themselves inside the dock, which you can use to surprise your opponent. Because the opponent does not know if there is canoes inside the dock or fishing ships. Since both canoes and the fishing ship both increase the damage of the anti-ship attack from the dock. The dock can hold a maximum of 20 ships, which is, funny enough, the maximum amount of cannons you can do, and then you crush out of them all at once, and then get yourself counterattack rolling. And the dock also has an heal ability, which means when any ship gets damaged, you can place it next to the dock, and then after a while it's gonna automatically heal itself. And the limit is one ship at one dock at a time, which is why it is recommended to make multiple docks so you can repair multiple ships at once. And the more docks you have, the more ships you can heal. Since the healing rate is very slow, and unless you have advanced dock, which I would recommend, if you are on a team battle, on a team water battle, which is usually where it pays off. And while we are speaking on the native bonuses, fun fact, if I would delete all the canoes and would not have access to the native trading post anymore, you would think, I lost my trading post, so therefore I shouldn't be able to make canoe. Wait. Yeah. The funny part is, you just have to control the TP at a millisecond at a time. And then you're gonna have permanent access to the bonus of the ship. Being canoes, being the privateer, or the battleship. Where we come to the more nation-specific changes. I've talked about the galleon. There are certain civs that do not have access to the galleon archetype. The one being China, as they have their Fushuan as galleon, as it does not have the siege trooper ship, siege trooper tag. So there's that. And the entire second one being the native civilizations, which we come now to. Because they do have a few specific things worth pointing out. Let me show you. So if you happen to be either the Aztec, the Haudenosaunee, or the Lakota, and you happen to be on a native map that gives you canoes, and remember that the natives have a different kind of set of warships available. Instead of ships, they have canoes being available at different ages. There we go. The first one being the canoe, the second one being the war canoe, and the third one being the Tlaloc canoe. The Tlaloc canoe is unique to the Aztec, so we just get rid of it. So, if you happen to be one of those three before mentioned natives, and you get yourselves this trading post, you have now a bid limit of 20 from the canoes. And if we get this native one, remember we don't get any bonus out of it. You still can only build 20 canoes. So you don't get a bonus when you are a native and ally yourself with a native. That happen to be the arrowhead, aka the one that gives you canoes. And another important thing is to point out when you are one of the natives is that you need to spread out your canoes because the warships have a splash damage of 1. Anything that isn't a cano, pretty much. Don't ask me how this is supposed to work, how the arrows have splash damage. But yeah. So if your canoes are attacking, they're getting too close together. It can happen that the splash damage can damage more than one canoe if they are in a very tight formation. And if you are smart, and I've watched my latest video on the how to micro, the project also works on fishing boats. Means that when there is a low HP canoe attacking, or a low HP ship, and you want to pull it back, you can pull it faster back when you use a pull trick. If you don't know how to do it, you know where to find it. And another important part, which I can't showcase here, let me showcase it with the Incas. Why I wanted to point it out with Inca is because of the war dance, aka the water ceremony. Reason being is that when you are on a water map and you have access to anything but the Native Americans, is that the water ceremony does only affect your ships. On Inca side being the... And this is why the very interesting mechanic is that the water ceremony is affecting the canoes and the chincha rafts. And this is the only native ship where your war dance is affecting the ship that it gets from the native. It's very important to point out, because if we change the map towards, for example, the Europeans, can I be on the Philippines? On Budapest. Close enough. And go quickly to the third age. And get ourselves a victory. Battleship and our chincha raft. Got our water ceremony ready. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then go to the ceremony. Do you see? The stats of the battleship don't change. However, the stats on the chincha raft do change. Because for the longest time I was also thinking that it was increasing the attack and hit points of all ships by set amount. But no. It only increases the damage of canoe types of ships. And not the warship kind of ships. No idea, no clue why that's the case. But keep that in mind when you are a Native American, native sort of, so they only had access to canoes. And think that you can use the ceremony to boost your ship's damage. Okay, now another important part, if you are Lakota, there is a very handy thing that you can use for your water play that I don't think many are aware of is their entire thing of TPs. Not TPs as in sort of training posts, but TPs in form of their... God damn it. Of their TP that they can build. I didn't know there was a winter version of it. Because we all know that the TPs have an aura that boosts the abilities on units nearby. Go to the third age, second age real quick, so I can demonstrate it. So the first bonus is that any eco unit nearby gets an eco bonus. Unless I removed it. 0.74. Yeah, see? Even you can also see the aura here beneath the ship, beneath the fishing boat. This fishing boat gathers faster than this one. Wait, there's about Dylan is in range of this TP. There we go. See? This fishing boat is gathering slower than this one because it's gathering inside this aura. Because the aura of the TP is not tied towards land units, it's tied toward all units. And if we go for the big button, it also improves the movement speed. Have a look at that. 9.35 speed, where it previously had 8.5. And if we shape this one, TPs now also improve attack, speed, and range of TP units. Look at that. Instead of 18 range, we have 19 range now. Whoa! Let's go quickly to the third age. So we can also demonstrate on the war canoe. So now we have 25 range compared to the really so large. Yes, 27 range compared to 25 range. And also 10% faster fire rate. But it doesn't stop there. You, on the other hand, have also a very handy dance of yours. Which is called the Siege Ceremony. Which boosts the attack of your ships by even more. Look at that. And why I explained it earlier with Inca is that it should also boost the damage of your battleship. See here. It just got improved. From 45 to 68. And it also boosts the speed of your mighty battleship as well. Yeah, also, yeah, it's pretty good. So your water isn't as bad as people make it seem to be. Although I have to be quite close on the shore for the steeper radius to apply. Just to make sure, 68 attack goes down to 45, see? So if you are Lakota, you can actually make your bonus count on the native ships more so than any other native. Thanks to the canoe. Thanks to the plaza and the teepee. Plaza being the siege ceremony and the teepee for giving them speed, rate of fire, and range. Just so that you are aware of it. And another handy thing is, let's switch real quickly to Hausa, because they also have a handy thing with their fishing ships that you can abuse. Let's make a dock real quick. Spoiler alert. This card will be effective on the canoes. Because if we have a look at the fishing canoes, let's have a look at the tags. It is a fishing boat and a villager. Means that all villager upgrades in terms of hit points and or attack boost also the hit points of this fishing canoe. Now it has 200 hit points, however when you restart this one, it should have 240. It does. And if we... This one's not gonna... We save this for later. Once we get this upgrade here. Let's go to the second age. And get this one, which is gonna enable its range action. So here, 20 range. It's for the maximum range, see? For 20 range, now it has a range of 24. And if we ship this one, the Dampy Whispering, you get yourself a 340 hit points. Wilds, that is. Quite something, isn't it? And if you are on a map which have, for example, the Nootka, which boosts the hit points of your villager by 50%, guess what? The fishing is gonna be even stronger then. So, just wanted you to be wary of it. Which is also why great codes also apply to fishing ships as well, since all fishing ships have the fishing boat and village attack. And in terms of the African Royals, this is sort of your weird hybrid ship of the Galleon and the Caravel, whereas this one is pretty much your frigate, and this one is pretty much your monitor, the equivalent to it. Where the Xeric might be one of the strongest ships in the entire game. Ship that soaks up the damage. This one's gonna be your Caravel, this one's gonna be your frigate, and this one's gonna be your Ironclad, which can also neglect damage. If we see here, this one, if we send the Hulk, which has a 25% chance to block any damage. So you pretty much have two damage soaking up ships, if you think it that way. But yeah, I think I covered all I wanted to cover. Oh lord, 44 minutes. I'm gonna try to cut it down as much as possible to make it more digestible. And yeah, sorry for the long video in advance. Hope you learned something new that you didn't know beforehand. If not, yell at me, personally. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something new. And I think the entire tutorial done, isn't it? You know the land, you know the water, you know the H1, you know the micro. Congrats on finishing the tutorial. Yeah, see you on the fog.